Welcome to your free English lesson online. I'm your English teacher, Chris. Today's topic is English conversation in the present perfect verb tense. Typical ESL class exercises using the present perfect tense usually sound like this. Have you ever been to Spain? Yes, I have. Have you ever ridden a horse? No, I haven't. And that's fine. But English speakers often use the present perfect tense in everyday conversations in ways that go beyond these forms. And that's what I want to look at with you today. We'll explore some of those conversations and what they mean. Here is an example with a question that is commonly asked when you first meet people. How long have you lived in Boston? I have lived here for a year. Both the question and the answer are in the present perfect tense. Let's quickly review the present perfect verb tense using this sentence. I have lived here for a year. The present perfect tense is formed by using either have or has, in this case have, and the past participle of the verb, in this case lived. For verbs that are regular, this is the same as the past tense. For irregular verbs, it is often different. I'll put a link in the video description to a PDF of irregular verbs with the past simple and the past participle forms of each. The first column is the base verb. The second column is the simple present tense, and the third column is the past participle. For the present perfect tense, you want to use the past participle, the third column. So what does it mean when we use the present perfect verb tense? The present perfect shows an action or state started at some point in the past and continues to the present. For example, I have lived here for a year. It means I came here a year ago and stayed here. I probably got a house or an apartment. I have a job. This has been my home since a year ago. Now let's look at more conversations using the present perfect tense. How have you been? I've been well, and you? This conversation is a way to ask about a person's well-being in the recent past using the present perfect tense, and it has a proper response. Here's a conversation you could have if you haven't seen someone for is longer than usual for you. I haven't seen you lately. What have you been up to? I've been in Dubai on business. This is a discussion of what the man has done since they last met. They're using the present perfect to show that they're talking about the time from their last meeting until now. Listen to this conversation. Have you talked to Peter lately? Yes, he called the other day. Here, the woman is using a question from the recent past up to now. She's using the present perfect verb tense. The man answers using the simple past tense because he's talking about an event that ended. It happened the other day. Here's a conversation between two people at this unusual looking workplace. Have you eaten lunch yet? No, not yet. In this exchange, the man is asking if the woman ate lunch anytime earlier today. That's why he's using the present perfect tense. Notice that rather than saying, no, I haven't, the woman simply says, no, not yet. Here, two students talk about the length of time they have studied at this university. The woman says, I've studied here since last fall. And the man replies, I started here 2 years ago. This is a good contrast. The woman uses since. She said, I've studied here since last fall. We use since with the present perfect tense in a specific time in the past, such as since last fall, or since January, or since last week. We use a go with the simple past tense and the amount of time. For example, 2 years ago, 3 weeks ago, an hour ago. Here is another example. Someone asks, has the package arrived? No, it hasn't. This is a way of asking if an event recently occurred. This is a situation in which you could have the same conversation using the simple past tense. Did the package arrive? No, it didn't. The tense doesn't make a difference here. The meaning doesn't change. That's the thing about languages. There are often different ways to say the same thing. Have you studied for the test? I have. I hope I'm ready. This is an example of using the present perfect to ask if someone prepared for something over the past few days. In this example, the woman is talking to someone on the phone and she says, "I've had a rough day." This means that from the start of the day until now has been difficult for her in some way. That's what we mean by a rough day. Using the present perfect shows that it has been for the entire day up until now. In this situation, the woman on the right is asking, "What do you recommend?" Meaning, what food do you think is good here? The woman on the left responds, "I'm not sure. This is the first time I've come here." This means that this is the first time in my life that I am eating here. Let's look at a common expression. The woman asks, "Would you like more coffee?" To which the man responds, "No, thank you. I've had enough." This means that he doesn't want more coffee and that he feels like he's already drank enough coffee since they sat down at the table. Here's an expression that is commonly used for sharing information or news. "Have you heard they hired a new manager?" The woman's surprised. She says, "Really? Who did they hire?" The man's question means, did you hear about the new manager at any time in the past? This could also be done in the simple past tense. He could simply say, "Did you hear they hired a new manager?" In this slide, the woman on the left asks, "Do you know Pam's husband, Tom?" And the other woman replies, "Oh, I've known Tom for years." This is a way of saying that she met Tom a long time ago and they have been friends or colleagues or whatever since then. What about you? Do you have a question about English? If so, tell me about it in the comments. I'll put a link in the description to a free PDF. The PDF is not mine. It's a free book chapter on the internet from an ESL textbook by Cengage. Cengage is a textbook publishing company. Often publishers put sample chapters on the internet. This one happens to be on the present perfect. It's really good and it's way better than anything that I could create for a video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, thank you.